Nothing about me gives impromptu. Nothing about me gives unplanned. Nothing about me gives relaxed at all, to be entirely honest. But what I'm going to be talking to you about today is something that's very clear, or very dear to me. Literally in the headline text, the word confident will be spelt incorrectly, and I will not see it. Grammarly's changed my life, and I pay attention to detail. If you have the premium, you're bougie. I don't have the premium. I should get the premium. Double check everything. Maybe don't ask your boss to check your grammar. That's not a good idea. That's probably going to make you look a bit more unprofessional. Welcome to this little bonus episode of the 4Words podcast. Typically on this podcast, we speak about entrepreneurs building creative collaboration, but we thought it would also be really valuable to kind of have these hot takes, these quick little tips to kind of bring you value in a short form way. We recognize that not everyone has time to listen to hour-long podcasts on a weekly basis, so we wanted to provide you value in a short form way through the podcast. So for my topic this week, I'm going to be discussing what I think is the easiest way to come across unprofessional if it is something that you don't pay attention to. I think it's completely understandable as to why what I'm going to discuss is the first thing that's kind of discarded. We all can recognize, especially post-COVID, and we've spoken about it, how everything has become so much more fast-paced. The quality of work and the quality of output you need to produce in the time span has just become shorter and shorter and shorter. And it's almost impossible to produce that quality of work in the time spans that we are given. And that, in my opinion, Kate and I have discussed it as well. I think it comes from COVID. It comes from, we were all in office space and there was this typical expectation. Then everyone went home and there was a different expectation. Now people kind of don't have a boundary of where work begins and where it ends. So there is just this expectation of getting stuff done so much faster. But what I'm going to be talking to you about today is something that's very clear, or very dear to me. It is something that is very close to my heart. And it is attention to detail. Every single person that is currently sitting outside these walls and listening to the podcast, this is true. Everyone that is sitting outside of this little glass cubicle will attest to my biggest pet peeve within the professional space is not paying attention to detail. I'm going to tell you why. I think the quickest way to be perceived as unprofessional is to not pay attention to the details. If you spell something wrong, if your sentence is constructed badly, if a line in a design doesn't go all the way to the edge, it is the quickest way to make a client or customer feel like you did not take enough time to care for their output. Whether it's a photo, whether it's video, whether it's graphic, anything, that attention to detail is what makes your customer and your client feel valued. It makes them feel like, oh my gosh, they've taken the time. There is not an ounce of a mistake on this project, And don't get me wrong, we're all human. We make mistakes here and there. But at the end of the day, it's vital for you to take the time to work through your stuff, double check everything, and make sure that the attention to detail is there, because that is what a client is going to value. Now, when it comes to giving you a couple tips on attention to detail, I've kind of alluded to one, but the first one I'm going to give you is to double check everything, whether it is yourself, you just going back, double checking some things, or whether it is a friend, a coworker, a boss, maybe not a boss. Maybe don't ask your boss to check your grammar. That's not a good idea. That's probably going to make you look a bit more unprofessional. My biggest recommendation would be to double check everything. When you stare at something for too long, you end up just missing it. I have literally worked on graphics where, like Senna, for example, I'm designing something and there's a headline text and there's something underneath it and then there's photos and then I swipe and it's carousel with information. Literally in the headline text, the word confident will be spelt incorrectly and I will not see it because I've been looking at it for too long. Then you just need to send it to someone else, have that second pair of eyes, and they will spot it like this. Like it is nothing. They will spot it so quickly. So that is my first tip. Double check everything. My second tip, make use of technology, people. Make use of Grammarly. Grammarly is amazing. I love Grammarly. Grammarly's changed my life and I pay attention to detail. Grammarly has beautifully integrated into so many different online platforms. It's integrated into Canva, it's integrated into Google Docs, it's integrated into Word for most laptops as far as I understand, and it's just such a great way to double check everything. It not only spots and kind of corrects your spelling mistakes, your grammar mistakes, your punctuation, but it also gives you advice, especially if you have the premium, which if you have the premium, you're bougie. Unique. I don't have the premium. I should get the premium. But it corrects your tone. It gives you suggestions on, who are you writing for? Is this meant to be formal? Is this meant to be informal? Is it meant to be funny? Is it meant to be neutral? And it kind of it's a really good way to round off any content you're creating. So second tip, use technology. Please use it. Then my third tip, or kind of like a comment, is slow down and make sure you take the time to look at what you're doing. I think, like I mentioned in the beginning, everything is so fast-paced. We end up kind of just defaulting to the space of, okay, but if I get it out fast, if I get it out and I push it out, everything's going to be fine. Like as soon as that deliverable is ticked, I'm good. When in actuality, you actually spend so much more time having to go, taking it down because there was a spelling mistake in the graphic. Then you repost it. And when you repost it so quickly, you realize you left out a carousel. You left out one of the 6 carousels you had to post. You have to take it down again. You have to redo it. If you just take the time, slow down, and take a comprehensive look at the quality of the work you've produced. Is there anything I can improve in this? Is there anything else I can do to make my client happy, to make sure that this is work I would feel proud to represent my portfolio? Take that time, slow down, don't multitask when you're finishing off that project, and I promise you it will save you so much time in the long run. So that was my hot take for today. I think this is something we will definitely integrate more moving forward. I know that Kate has a bunch of hot takes. I think everyone in the team does. But I'd love to hear everyone's input on the concept of attention to detail. Do you think it is something that is slowly but surely dissipating in the professional space because of how fast-paced it is? Do you think it's something that is neglected because people, don't necessarily see the importance of it anymore? I'd love to hear you guys' input. Please just pop a comment down below the video and we will get back to you, have a little debate. It'll be fun, I promise. Until next time, please like, subscribe, and follow for more, because this is definitely, like I said 3 times already, not the only hot take we will be doing in this series. Bye!